Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. لحضرة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So to continue with our dars on Kitab Risalatul Jami'ah by Habib Ahmad bin Zain al-Habshi, we have arrived at Kitab, the chapter of Zakat, and we have covered the types of Zakat. Okay, I have highlighted those that we have covered. So we are left with gold and Zakat of gold and silver, and Zakat Tijara, the trade goods. So we will go through the important ones. So number 5, Zakat on gold and silver. Gold and silver. This is called an-naqdan, Zakatun naqdan, or some mention it as an-nugget, Zakatun nugget. So meaning of an-nugget is actually, the meaning is currency, or naqdan, that means two currencies, because it's referring to gold and silver. Those were the two currencies that are being used last time. So yeah, naqdan, and naqdan refers to gold, which is dinar, and silver, dirham. These were the recognized currencies or money being used previously, and until now is they are still being recognized and very precious. So similarly, paper currencies or fiat currencies that are in circulation today, in place of gold and silver for trading, as they are formally authorized, recognized and used by everyone all across the globe. So similarly, paper currencies will have the same ruling on zakat, because these are being used currently instead of trading with gold and silver, because previously gold and silver are used for trading. That means they are used as money and currencies. So now it's more popular to use. It's like everybody is using the paper currencies, even though gold and silver are still being used, but not as much as the paper currencies. So of course, the rulings will follow the rulings on gold and silver for paper currencies. And other than that, no zakat on precious metals. This is the just give the summary first on zakat on gold and silver. So there is no zakat on precious metals or minerals or jewelries like diamonds, ruby, pearls, or whatever luxury items, Rolex or Rolex watch. Even though there are people who collect Rolex watches and like for investment, and the price will go up and whatsoever, but still there is no zakat. No matter how long you keep, 10 years or 20 years or so, there's no zakat, because it's not recognized as currencies. And the it's not obvious. Like if you show a poor man gold and silver, they will recognize these are gold and silver. But Rolex, some people might not know what is this. It's just a watch, so they don't have like a stored value. The value is being like what is that? Um, like being placed by the market, but there's no like real value on the item, like Rolex watch and whatever, diamond and whatever. but so there's no zakat on them. But if they are being kept like Rolex watches and diamonds and ruby and pearls and all other stuff, all this stuff, they are being kept or they're being bought for the sake of investment or business, then they will be considered as merchandise. And if they are considered as merchandise, then they will be liable for zakat. This will be covered in zakat for trade good. Because zakat on gold and silver will overlap with zakat tijara. But because this chapter is a bit lengthy, so I don't want to put in zakat tijara as well. So we'll do it separately. So we just understand on zakat on gold and silver first, then we will come to the trade goods. So the sources from Quran and Hadith, okay, it's a ijma', there is zakat from the Quran, and those who hoard up gold and silver and spend them not in the way of Allah, announce unto them a painful torment. Surah At-Tawbah. And Hadith, there are plenty Hadith referring to the what the obligation, the necessity on obligation to pay zakat on gold and silver if you meet the requirements. If you meet all the requirements, then there will be zakat. So this is one of the hadith. And it's also ijma'. All the ulama say that there is zakat on gold and silver. There are no ulama, any scholars who say that there are no zakat on gold and silver. Okay, shall go on the conditions that necessitate paying zakat on the two currencies. Okay, two currencies refer to gold and silver, dinar and dirham. So, okay, the first condition will be it has to to reach its whole or lapse of a year on it. Okay, la zakata, that is from the hadith, la zakata fi malin hatta yahula bain alayhi al-hawl. So la zakata fi malin hatta yahula alayhi al-hawl hadith. So because of this hadith and many other hadith as well, there needs to be a hawl before the obligatory of paying zakat is required. So hawl will refer to one completion of unbroken cycle of the lunar year. That means the Hijri calendar on the item. So every item will have its own hawl. And you can lump it up if they are together. If not, then they will be they have their own hawl. And once their hawl is completed, then the zakat is obligatory. We will go through later. I will do a calculation as well, just to show the example and to show what I mean by every item will have their own haul. The cycle does not break. The cycle cannot break. In if it breaks in between, that means after 6 months the haul is broken, or after maybe 11 months and 20 days even. 10 days, just 10 days to complete the haul and it's broken, then the zakat is not obligatory anymore. Then until a new haul starts. So the haul does not break by lending the item to someone or used to purchase merchandise for trade. Because the merchandise, if you buy merchandise, then the haul will not be broken. Instead, it will be considered either in the zakat nugget, zakat of the gold and silver, or zakat on trade goods. You can pay in either one. That one we will go through later when we go through the zakat tijara. So in this case, in case the item is being borrowed by someone, then the zakat can be delayed. until the item is returned to the owner. And the zakat is liable on the owner, the actual owner of the item, not the borrower. Okay, that's number one. Number two is nisab. It must meet the nisab, must have reached or passed the nisab value throughout the whole. So throughout the whole, the nisab must be there, must not be below the nisab throughout the whole, the 1 year period. The must, the whole, the whole is calculated in Hijri calendar. If it falls below the nisab value, the whole is broken and will restart again once it reaches the nisab again. If not, then it won't start until the nisab is being reached. So just to recap, nisab of pure gold, anyway, the nisab must be calculated in the using pure gold. That means gold and silver in its pure state, not mixed with other metals and stuff. So nisab of pure gold is 20 dinars, approximately 84 grams, and silver is 200 dirham, approximately 588 gram. And should also include he should also include his gold or silver possessions that are being lent to others and used to purchase trade goods. This will be considered when calculating the nisab. So that means if the nisab is 5,000, let's say, and he have in his possession $4,000. 4,000. Nisab of gold is 20 dinars. He have in his possession 18 dinars, and he have 2 dinars as merchandise being traded for goods, or 2 dinars in the hands of others. That means being borrowed by others. So in this case, he will have to pay zakat, even though he have only 18 dinars in possession, because his actual possession is actually more than 18. He got 18 plus something that has been borrowed by someone, or another 2 dinars being held as merchandise, as trade goods. So this will be considered in calculating the nisab. So nisab for gold and silver in one's possession should be calculated separately. They shouldn't be mixed. That means if one owns gold and silver, but each does not reach the nisab, the most correct opinion is that no zakat should be paid on it. That means that just now you said 20 dinars for zakat. The nisab 20 dinar. The nisab for gold is 20 dinars, and the nisab for silver is 200 dinars. So let's say we have 19 dinars of gold, and we have 199 dirham of silver. There's no zakat on both, even though like 199 of silver, 199 dirham of silver is like equivalent. It's actually more than one dinar of gold, but there's no zakat because it's being calculated separately, because it's of a different entity. So payment of zakat on gold or silver cannot be combined to complete nisab, as each is seen as a separate entity. So you calculate zakat, the nisab for gold with gold and silver with silver. You don't mix them to complete the nisab. No evidence that indicates that one should add one to the other in order to complete the nisab. And from the hadith, Rasulullah SAW said, no zakah is due on property mounting to less than 5 uqiyas. 5 uqiyas of silver. And he who puts together gold and silver has enjoined zakat on less than 5 silver uqiyas. This is an agreed upon hadith. So from the hadith, you can see that uh, if you combine is and you pay zakat by if you calculate your nisab and you combine the nisab for gold and silver, you combine gold and silver to meet the nisab, it's as if like you are not paying zakat. But of course, whatever you pay, it will be treated as charity, so there's no loss. But it's not considered zakat. The nisab of paper currency, the nisab of paper currency is calculated on the basis of nisab of gold or silver when the collection of zakat is due. So when the money has reached the nisab of either gold or silver, whichever is lower, normally it will be gold. Zakah then becomes obligatory. So an example, will be if a gram of gold is $85. Zakah becomes obligatory if one has $85 times 85 gram of gold, which is 7140. 7140. So that's the nisab. So if you don't have 7140, $7,140 for a year, the nisab must be maintained at 7140 or above. If it falls below like 7100 or 7139, then the whole is broken. That means the nisab is when it becomes when it goes below the nisab, the whole will be broken. So if a gram of silver, just now we calculate on gold. If silver is $38, one gram of silver is $38. Zakah becomes obligatory if one has $38 times 588 gram of silver. So that will be 22344. So from here you can see the lower will be the following the nisab of gold. So you cannot say you wanna follow silver. You must take the lower. So the lower nisab value from gold and silver will be used to establish the nisab for paper currency. So this $85 for gold and $38 for silver will be just what is that translated to whatever currency and times the amount of gold, then you'll get the nisab for the paper currency. So one must combine in gold and silver. In paper currency, you must combine the total value of whatever paper currencies you have. So that means if let's say I have the nisab is 7140, we take 7140 as nisab. But I have $5,000 USD. USD 5,000. Okay, just to make it simple, USD 7140, 7,000 USD is the nisab. I have 5,000 USD and 10,000 ringgit Malaysia and 2,000 Singapore dollars. So now I have total, if I calculate, I convert everything to USD, I will have more than 5,000. I will have more than 7,000 USD. So in this case, you must pay zakat. So it's not like just now silver and gold and silver when calculating the nisab, you don't have to mix gold and silver, the dinar and dirham. But then for paper currency, you have to consider all whatever paper currencies you have and convert them all to one currency and then compare that amount against the nisab in that currency. Then that will tell you whether the the money in hand is liable for zakat. Okay, number 3, the condition that necessitate paying zakat on the two currencies. Number 3 will be, it must not be mubah jewelries from gold or silver. So the item that you have, the gold and silver that you possess must not be of mubah jewelries. What is meant by mubah jewelries? Mubah jewelries is defined as those jewelries that are regarded as permissible for use within the Sharia. It is referring to gold and silver. Other jewelries are not considered. So they are considered mubah jewelries if they meet these conditions. Okay, the owner is aware that they are made of gold and silver. The owner must be aware that the jewelry is made of gold and silver, gold or silver. If he's not aware, then it doesn't what is that? It's not considered as mubah jewelry. The definition of mubah jewelry is to excuse these jewelries from being zakat, from the liability of zakat. So, okay, number 1 is owner is aware that they are made of gold and silver. And second is the owner of the the owner of the jewelries made of gold and silver does not have the intention of accumulating or investing the jewelries. He buy it for the purpose of wearing, or with the intention of giving someone, or let's say the person has a daughter and he buy jewelries gold made of silver and gold. He buy these jewelries with the intention that on the wedding day of the daughter he will put them on the daughter to give the daughter. So it's for wearing. So it's not for investment or just keeping, not accumulating wealth. So with that intention, even the father, let's say the example, if the father buy a necklace made of gold with the intention of giving the necklace made of gold on the wedding day of the daughter, then he can keep for 2 3 years, 10 years. There's no zakat because the intention is not accumulating. The intention is to wear. So number 3 must be permissible for use. Must be permissible for use. That means, let's say for women, everything is permissible, gold and silver. But for men, only silver ring is permitted. So if a man have, let's say, a gold chain, even he doesn't, he is haram for him to wear. That's number 1, and is zakatable. It will be zakatable. It will be liable for zakat because it's not considered as mubah jewelry for him. But if a woman if a woman owns the gold chain, then it's mubah for her. So there will be no zakat on the jewelry if all the conditions are met. Then number 4 is the jewelry is not broken or damaged, preventing it from being used. That means, if an example will be, if a woman have a gold chain and is broken, then now she cannot wear the gold chain. So what will she do with it? It's either she sell it away or she keeps it. She keep the jewelry. So if she in she can repair. She can repair the gold chain. So if she decide to repair, there's an intention to repair, and she keeps it while waiting for the repairman, or waiting for it to be repaired. There's no time or whatsoever. She with she has the intention of repairing the or sending the gold chain to for repair, then there will be no zakat for this jewelry. But if she keep the broken jewelry with no intention of repairing the gold chain, then that jewelry will be liable for zakat, because it's like of no, it's not able to be worn anymore, but she still keeps it. So of course, if you keep gold and silver, it's like accumulating. There's no reason. So it will be considered as accumulating wealth, or considered as an investment. So there will be zakat. So okay, that this will exclude. It means what is not mubah jewelry will be: number one, jewelries that are meant for hoarding or accumulation or investment, not for use. Then this will be liable for zakat. This will not be known. This will not be called as uh, permissible jewelry. I mean, mubah jewelry. Although it is permissible for you to accumulate or invest in gold and silver, it's just the ruling on it. They say it's not. They will call it as non-mubah jewelry. It's not the permissible type, permissible jewelry. But there's no sin in keeping all this. It will include broken or damaged jewelries that has been previously made or used with no intention of being repaired, but still being kept. So of course, if you keep a broken jewelry made of gold or silver with no intention of repairing, that means you are accumulating wealth, or with the intention of, you have a intention of investing the jewelries. And also include jewelries or heirloom that has been passed down to him that he was not aware of. Uh, Number two will be jewelries that are makruh. This will not be considered as mubah jewelry. So that means all these are zakatable, are liable for zakat. Jewelries that are makruh or disliked will refer to, an example will be a big golden latch for door, with a need for that. That means he needs a golden latch for the door, because that's the only thing that will work, let's say. Then it's permissible for her, for him to have that golden latch, but it's zakatable, because it's makruh to have uh, like non-essential things made of gold, and some things are haram, like wastage of gold is haram, like let's say, what is that, making a toilet seat made of gold, that is haram. But a golden latch for the door is makruh, because it's a wastage, it's still a wastage of gold. And but if there's a need, then it's still, you can use it, but you have to pay zakat on it. And also include silver rings worn on other than pinky finger for men, because the rule is, for men you can wear silver ring, only silver rings. That's it. You can wear only silver rings. You can wear silver, only silver rings. On the sunnah is on the pinky finger, by either right or left. But if you wear it on your thumb or index finger or whatever finger, the middle finger or the whichever finger on the toenails or whatever, then it will be considered as jewelries that are makruh, and you have to pay zakat if the conditions are met. But if you wear it on pinky finger, either right or left, then there will be no zakat, because that's considered as the permissible jewelry, the mubah jewelry. These are eligible for zakat as they are considered excessive for men also. Okay, all these under makruh will be considered for eligible for zakah because they are considered excessive. And number 3, the third one that is being excluded from mubah jewelry is the haram jewelries that are haram will be excessive jewelries from gold or silver for women. This is not haram in the sense that it's not haram for them to wear excessive jewelries. They can have as many jewelries they want, gold or silver. It's just that once you exceed certain limit, then you will have to pay zakat on it. So uh, it's not considered as mubah jewelry. So excessive jewelries, that means it will be based on the norm of that place and time. So that place and time, let's say in a certain country, the norm is women wear this kind of this amount of jewelries. Anything exceed this amount is considered excessive. Then the then if it's considered excessive, then she will have to pay zakat on everything, not just the excess, everything, everything that she own. So it will differ. It will follow the norm, the place and time. And jewelry is made of gold or silver for men, except for silver rings. So for men, only silver rings is allowed. Silver rings is allowed. You can wear any on any fingers, but if you wear on other than pinky fingers, the right or left pinky fingers, then you will have to pay zakat. If the conditions are met, of course. But if you wear like let's say silver bangle or silver necklace, then the most uh, most scholars say it's haram for men. But some do allow silver even for bangles and whatever, because they say silver is allowed for men. But the stronger opinion is gold and silver are not, both gold and silver are not allowed for men, except for the ring. So any jewelries, men don't wear jewelries actually. So scholars agree on the permissibility based on hadith of, okay, scholars agree on the permissibility of using nose or fingertips and teeth made of gold if they are lost. Like let's say, because this is based on hadith that some of the Sahaba, they go to war and lose their nose, lost their nose in the war. So this Sahabi, where he had replaced his nose with a silver nose. He used silver, and there was a smell coming. There was a smell coming from the nose, or something like that. So Rasulullah SAW said, "Why don't you use gold?" So from there, the ruling is derived that even men can wear gold for nose and fingertips, and some say for teeth also. Most of the scholars allow teeth also. Broken teeth, to replace broken teeth. But they differ. Some scholars say cannot, but most allow. Most say it's okay. It is also allowed for men to have battle equipment such as swords, bows ornamented with gold or silver, as long as not excessive. If excessive, it's haram. But not battle suits, because battle suits or helmets, they will be worn. so they cannot wear anything with gold gold ornaments or silver. They are not allowed. Men, if women they are allowed. But for weapons, then it's allowed to have gold and silver for men. So zakat for gold. So those are the conditions. So zakat for gold and silver is the rate is 2.5%, 1/20. Once all the earlier conditions are met, then 2.5% of whatever amount he have, not the excess, the actual value of whatever amount, and 2.5% is liable for zakat. Any increment of gold and silver once the nisab is attained is calculated accordingly. So no matter how small or big, the percentage remains. The rate is 2.5%. So you have $1 million or $100,000 or 1 billion is still 2.5%. When you have 10,000, still 2.5%. So from this hadith, you see that yeah, 200 dirham for silver, and okay, when you possess 200 dirham silver, you possess 200 dirham, and a year passes by. A year passes by, that means the haul. You have completed the haul. You are to pay 5 dirham as zakah. There is nothing for you to pay of gold until it is 20 dinars. That means if you have 19 or below 20, there's no zakah. When you possess 20 dinars and a year passes by, again, haul. You are to pay half of a dinar. Half of a dinar, that means it's 1/20. Uh, any increment is to be calculated accordingly. 2.5%. So okay, just share with you some calculation on the amount that you have to pay, and I will try to explain a bit on how to pay zakat for the paper currency. Is an easy way. Okay, let's say we take Muharram 1440. You have $5,000. Then every month, this person saves $1,000. So by the fourth month, Habib Thani, he has $8,000. So we take that the nisab is $7,200 for that month. So now he has reached the nisab. So once he have reached the nisab, 8,000, for 7,000 is not nisab yet. So the nisab will follow the market. Maybe today is 7,002, tomorrow is 7,201, but normally the nisab won't fluctuate that much unless there's a crisis or something. Because that's why gold and silver is quite stable. It won't fluctuate that much. So you will have to follow the nisab for the day. So the nisab is, let's say for Rabiul Sani is 7. For the whole, we just take one nisab, 7,200 for the nisab. So once you have 8,000, that means you have reached and actually passed the nisab. So now your haul starts. Once you pass the nisab or meet the nisab, your haul starts. Then the next month we have 1,000 more, 1,000 more, 1,000 more, until 1 year. Then Rabiul Thani, the next Rabiul Thani, 1441. You have now $20,000. So your haul is here. Start 1 month, 2 months, 3 months until 12 months. You complete. Let's say the $8,000 is accumulated, is reached on the 10th of Rabiul Thani. So on the 9th of Rabiul Thani next year, that means a complete 1 year, a 1 year cycle, that the money, that 8,000 is now 1 year old in his possession, in the person's possession. So now the whole is completed. But this 9,000 is not completed yet. This 9,000, that means that extra $1,000 he have accumulated in Jamadil Awal, the whole will start here. So that's why I say, that's why I put a whole like that, and it will continue. This thing will continue. So to make it so in after 1 year, the liability of zakat is, what is zakatable is $8,000. The actual amount is $8,000. So you pay 2.5% of $8,000 is $200. That is the zakat you need to pay. Then the next month you pay another 25 and 25, 25. But to make life easier, just pay whatever you have. Like let's say in Rabiul Thani you have $8,000. So until the next year Rabiul Thani, you have $20,000. You pay $20,000. You pay the zakat amount at the end of the whole. That means you pay $500 as zakat. Then for 1 year you have a rest. You don't need to think about this 25, 25, 25, 25. But although this method you will end up paying more. Normally you will end up paying more. But never mind. It's considered as anything extra is considered charity. Last time the Salaf, they used to pay zakat every 6 months. They pay twice a year because they are afraid of underpaying. But nowadays people are afraid of overpaying. So it's okay to overpay because anything extra will be considered as charity. So this is an example what I to see how the howl works. That's why I say you earn there is everything that comes in to your possession will have its own haul. But once the haul completes, then the zakat becomes liable. So if you really want to calculate meticulously and you said you just want to pay, I want to pay only this 8,000. It's okay. It's correct. It's the correct way. But you have to be careful of all this. You have to monitor your cash flows and savings. So you just pay 8,000, 2.5% of 8,000. That means $200. Then the next month you pay another 25. Then the following month 25, another 25. But this is very simple because this is we are taking there's a saving of $1,000 every month, $1,000 increment per month. So that's an easy calculation. But if it's like fluctuates, sometimes 1,000, sometimes 500, then it becomes harder to track. So another example will be an example on zakat on savings is because they always say that you pay the lowest. Okay, Rabiul Thani, same thing. The nisab is 7,002. Rabiul Thani, you have 8,000. So you have reached the nisab. 1 year later, you have 15,000. And okay, you accumulate 2,000 per month, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Until Shawwal, you have 20,000. But then you decide to spend 10,000 on something, go on a holiday or something, whatever, buy a motorbike, buy a car, whatever. So you spend 10,000. So now you are left with 10,000. Then you keep again, you save again 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. At the end of the year, at the end of this complete haul, you have 15,000. So same thing, you have the wajib part is you have to pay 2.5% of 8,000, that is 200. But to make your life easier, you pay 2.5% of whatever you have at the end of the haul. So you pay 375 instead of 200. But if you don't want to pay 375, you insist that you want to pay 200, it's okay. You can pay the rest after once the whole is met. That means this 20,000 8,000, the whole goes on. So that means this 10,000, there's another whole going on, but it's already broken because he has spent. So this 10,000, the the zakat on this extra 2,000, that means you have 8,000 and you are gaining another 2,000 here. So this extra 2,000, the zakat will be $50. That will be due in a year. That means from Zulqaidah, the next Zulqaidah, you have to pay $50 for the zakat of this extra 2,000. Then the same thing, the extra 1,000 following it, this thing, the extra, the zakat of $25 for the extra 1,000. And the same thing, extra 1,000, extra 1,000. So you pay. Once the time comes, you pay. That means every month you will have to pay zakat. But to make your life easier, just pay more and settle it once a year. And some like to pay, some people like to pay every Ramadan. This is okay if it doesn't exceed, like your zakat is due on Ramadan, then of course you can pay in Ramadan. But if your zakat is due in let's say Sha'ban, you want to postpone until Ramadan, it's still okay. And it's actually okay. Some scholars say you can collate your zakat and pay in Ramadan, but some prefer that it's being paid. Some advise that they are being paid as soon as possible. But of course, you cannot exceed 1 year. That means that within that 1 year, you have to pay. Let's say that means if your haul is Rabiul Thani, so the next Rabiul Thani 1441, the haul is due. So by Jamadil Awal you can pay, or Jamadil Akhir, but you cannot meet the next Rabiul Thani 1442. You have to pay before that. Actually, the sooner the better. And some scholars say you have to pay as soon as possible. So another example to show the that tracking the savings can be quite complicated if you have like fluctuating money. Okay, same thing, we take nisab as 7,200. So Rabiul Thani, you hit the nisab 8,000. So this is H1 haul, the first haul starts. So it will be due in 1 year. So until here, you will have to pay. Complete 12 months, you pay zakat of 8,000. Then you follow the second haul. You earn 500 extra here. So the haul starts. Another 500 extra, the haul starts for the 500. And you earn another 3,000 extra for that month. The next month, 3,002 extra. So the haul for 3,002 starts here. And same thing here, extra 700 starts. Then Ramadan, you earn another 600, you save another 600. So the whole starts here. But then in Shawwal, your money drop. You spend on something, or you give away for zakat or whatever. So the whole you have now in Shawwal, you have 12,100. That means you have used how much? $1,400. So now your haul will break. The haul for H6 and H5 will break because it has fallen below the amount. 12,100 is below 13,500 and below 12,900, and it's also below 1220 in Rajab. But of course, this thing you have to push, and you push to Rajab. Now you have to adjust. Instead the haul of the haul for 3,200, now you have to adjust to 3,100 because you still have that 3,200, but now you have 3,100 only. so you don't have to pay for that $100 you use. So there's no zakat for that $100 you have used. But the 3,100 that is still kept with you under your possession, that the whole will still go, will continue. So same thing. This thing happens again here. So this then in Zulqaidah you earn another 700. So a new haul starts here. And same thing here, a new haul starts here for the extra 200. And then it drop again, 2,000, 12,400. So this haul, which is 30,000, is higher than this. Now you have lower than 13,000. So now you have 12,400. So your haul for this one will break. And you push back here, it will be adjusted. For instead of a haul for 700, now you are paying you adjust it to 300. So on. It's like that. If you decide to pay 8,000 here, then the rest you have to monitor. But to make it easier, if you want a easier life, you don't need to monitor all this. Just pay the maximum, whatever you have, not the maximum, whatever you have at that point of time. When the haul ends, then you pay. Like down here, the haul starts at 8,000 and end at the end of the haul, you have 12,900. This is not the lowest amount and it's not also the highest amount. It's the amount that he have at the end of the haul. That's what you pay zakat on to make your life easier. But of course, you will pay more because you will tend to pay more because maybe in Jamadil Awal, the next month, you decide to spend $2,000. So now you will have 10,900, but you have paid that 2,900, 2,000 extra. You have paid zakat for. You have paid $50 of zakat. So that's why I say if you do this method, you will tend to pay more. But it's okay. You pay more is okay rather than pay less. Pay more, it will be considered as charity. If you pay less, then you will be sinful. So to play safe, zakat, you pay more. You pay. You either pay more or you pay at the end of the haul. But if you really want to follow, you want to be exact, then you have to monitor your cash flow. So differentiate where the haul is. You can also estimate, but if you estimate, you have to take the worst case scenario. That means you will end up paying more also. So yeah, that's the explanation. I hope that's quite clear and beneficial. So yeah, that's the end of the zakat on gold and silver. And yeah, next one we will go on zakat on trade goods or merchandise. Allahu a'lam. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا انفعنا بما علمتنا ربي علمنا الذي ينفعنا ربي فقنا وفق أهلنا وقرابة لنا في ديننا مع أهل الكتر أنت وذكر ربي وفقنا وفقهم لما ترضى قولا وفعلا كرما وارزق الكل حلالا دائما وأخل أتقيا علماء نعوذ بالخير ونكفى كل شر ربنا أصلح لنا كل شؤون وأقر بالرضا منك العيون واقض عنا ربنا كل الديون قبل أن تأتينا مسلمون واغفر واستر أنت أكرم من ستر وصلاة الله توشى المصطفى من إلى الحق تعانى والوفاء بكتاب فيه للناس شفاء وعلى الآل الكرام الشرفاء وعلى الصحب مصابيح الغرر اللهم اهدنا بهداك واجعلنا ممن يسارع في رضاك ولا تولنا وليا سواك ولا تجعلنا ممن خلف أمرك وعصاك وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين الله أعلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.